I had to find this crown, and he said, I'm standing there and I'm giving it my best heroic acting, and he said, okay, put the helmet on. I said, don't worry, I can see it, it's right there.
He held her hand as she took her last breath. He walked his daughter down the aisle just 2 weeks before she too was gone. This isn't a scene from one of his movies. This is the heartbreaking reality of Pierce Brosnan's life. The man who played the invincible hero has been brought to his knees by a cruel twist of fate, not once, but multiple times. Behind his charismatic smile, this Hollywood legend has been fighting a secret, decades-long battle with grief. But the story the world was told about that loss was a lie. The heartbreak behind the Hollywood smile. You see, for a man who has graced the silver screen for decades, embodying the epitome of charm and sophistication, Pierce Brosnan's life off camera has been anything but a glamorous Hollywood tale. At 72, an age when many are enjoying the quiet comforts of retirement, Brosnan is still a towering figure in the entertainment industry. But not all things are what they seem. Behind the twinkle in his eye and the easy smile lies a story of profound and recurring grief, a secret struggle that has been a constant companion throughout his life. Many people are crazy about his portrayal of James Bond, the suave super spy who always gets the girl and saves the world. But the reality is that Brosnan has faced more personal tragedy than any on-screen villain could ever inflict. The things nobody tells you is that the man who seemed to have it all has been tested by fate in the most brutal ways imaginable. We're not talking about a single, isolated incident of heartbreak. We're talking about a pattern of devastating loss that has stretched across decades, a relentless series of blows that would have shattered the spirit of most people. And yet, through it all, Brosnan has maintained a quiet dignity, a strength that is perhaps his most remarkable and least known quality. His story is not just one of sadness, but also of incredible resilience. It's a testament to the power of the human heart to endure, to love, and to find hope even in the darkest of times. It's a story that will make you rethink everything you thought you knew about this Hollywood legend. The man who has entertained millions has been living with a level of personal pain that is truly heartbreaking, and it all started long before he ever stepped in front of a camera. The seeds of his struggle were sown in a lonely childhood, a childhood marked by abandonment and a longing for the family he never truly had. This was just the beginning of a lifetime of challenges, a series of trials that would test him in ways he could never have imagined. The first blow came early, a wound that would never fully heal. As a young boy, Brosnan was left behind in Ireland by his mother, who moved to London to work as a nurse. For 7 long years, he was raised by his grandparents, a solitary child in a small town, his only connection to his mother being her infrequent visits. This early experience of separation and loss left an indelible mark on him, shaping his understanding of family and his deep-seated desire for a stable and loving home. It was a desire that would be both fulfilled and cruelly snatched away in the years to come. But the real test of his strength was yet to come. His first great love, the woman who would become his wife and the mother of his children, was about to enter his life, bringing with her a joy he had never known. But their love story would be cut short by a tragedy that would set the stage for a lifetime of heartbreak. You won't believe the cruel twist of fate that awaited him, a recurring nightmare that would haunt him for the rest of his days. The shadow of loss was about to fall, and it would be a long and dark one. The love and loss of Cassandra Harris. In the late 70s, a young and ambitious Pierce Brosnan met the love of his life, Australian actress Cassandra Harris. She was beautiful, vivacious, and the mother of 2 young children, Charlotte and Christopher. For Brosnan, it was love at first sight. He was instantly captivated by her spirit and her beauty, and they soon became inseparable. They married in 1980, and a few years later, they welcomed their son, Sean. Brosnan, who had never known his own father, embraced his new role as a husband and a father with a passion and a dedication that was truly inspiring. He adopted Charlotte and Christopher, raising them as his own, and for a time it seemed as though he had finally found the family and the happiness he had always craved. But not all things are what they seem. In 1987, their idyllic life was shattered when Cassandra was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. It was the beginning of a long and brutal battle, a 4-year ordeal that would test their love and their strength in ways they could never have imagined. Brosnan stood by her side every step of the way, a devoted and loving husband, as she endured countless surgeries and rounds of chemotherapy. He put his career on hold, turning down roles to be with her, to care for her, to hold her hand through the darkest days. The things nobody tells you is that the man who would one day play the unflappable James Bond was living a real-life nightmare, a daily struggle against a merciless disease. He watched as the love of his life was slowly consumed by the illness, her vibrant spirit dimming with each passing day. He was helpless, a spectator to a tragedy that was unfolding before his very eyes. And in 1991, at the age of just 43, Cassandra lost her battle with cancer, leaving Brosnan a widower and a single father to 3 grieving children. The pain of her loss was immeasurable, a wound that would never fully heal. He has described it as the longest night of my life, a night that has stretched into decades of quiet sorrow. He has spoken of the incredible cruelty of it all, of losing the person he shared everything with. He has carried that grief with him every day, a constant reminder of the love he had and the future that was stolen from them. But the cruelest twist of fate was yet to come. The same disease that had taken his wife would return to haunt his family, to claim another victim, and to plunge him back into the depths of despair. You won't believe the heartbreaking echo of the past that was about to shatter his world once again. The tragedy was not over. It was about to repeat itself in the most devastating way possible, a cruel encore that would test the limits of his endurance. The cycle of heartbreak was far from over. It was about to begin again. The cruelest twist of fate. Just when it seemed that Pierce Brosnan had found a semblance of peace, that he had learned to live with the ghosts of his past, tragedy struck again. In a cruel and almost unbelievable twist of fate, his daughter Charlotte was diagnosed with the same disease that had taken her mother's life, ovarian cancer. The news was a devastating blow, a reopening of old wounds that had never truly healed. It was a father's worst nightmare come to life, a horrifying echo of the past that he was now forced to relive. You see, for 22 years, he had carried the memory of his wife's battle with him. He had watched her suffer, had held her hand as she slipped away. And now he was forced to watch his own daughter walk the same agonizing path. He had to witness the same merciless disease that had stolen his wife, now threatened to take his child. The things nobody tells you is that the man who had faced down countless on-screen villains was powerless in the face of this real-life monster. Charlotte fought her cancer with the same grace and courage that her mother had shown, but the disease was relentless. In 2013, at the age of just 41, she passed away, leaving behind a husband and 2 young children. For Brosnan, the loss was unbearable, a fresh wave of grief that threatened to consume him. He had now lost both his wife and his daughter to the same cruel illness, a double tragedy that is almost too painful to comprehend. He has spoken of the heavy heart he carries, of the dark, melancholy Irish dog that sits beside him from time to time. He has admitted that he doesn't look at the cup as half full, that the weight of his losses has left an indelible mark on his psyche. And yet, through it all, he has continued to move forward, to find a way to live with the pain, to honor the memory of the women he has loved and lost. But the tragedies in his life were not limited to illness and loss. There was another, more insidious struggle that was unfolding within his own family, a battle with addiction that would test his love and his resolve in a different but equally painful way. You won't believe the heartbreaking decision he was forced to make, a choice that no parent should ever have to face. Another storm was brewing, and it would test his strength in a whole new way, the sins of the son. While Pierce Brosnan was grappling with the devastating losses of his wife and daughter, another storm was brewing within his family. His son, Christopher, was struggling with his own demons, battling a severe addiction to drugs and alcohol. It was a downward spiral that had begun after his mother's death, a desperate attempt to numb the pain of his loss. But his addiction was tearing the family apart, causing endless heartache and turmoil. You see, for years, Brosnan tried to help his son, to guide him back to the light. He poured his time, his resources, and his love into trying to save him. But Christopher's addiction was a powerful and destructive force, one that seemed to have a relentless grip on him. He had multiple run-ins with the law and a near-fatal overdose that almost claimed his life. The things nobody tells you is that the man who had always been a devoted and loving father was now facing a challenge that he couldn't overcome with love alone. He was forced to make a decision that no parent should ever have to make. He had to let his son go. He had to cut him off, to love him from a distance, in the hope that he would one day find the strength to save himself. It was an act of tough love, a heartbreaking choice that was born out of desperation and a deep, unwavering love for his child. He has described it as a quiet devastation, another kind of funeral, a loss that is just as painful as any other. The estrangement from his son has been a source of immense sadness for Brosnan, another secret struggle that he carries with him every day. It's a reminder that even for a man of his stature and success, there are some battles that cannot be won, some wounds that may never heal. And as if all of this wasn't enough, there was yet another blow to come, a professional betrayal that would leave him feeling adrift and questioning his own identity. You won't believe the unceremonious way he was cast aside from the role that had defined his career, the role that had made him a global icon. The secret struggles of Pierce Brosnan were not confined to his personal life. They had now seeped into his professional world, adding another layer of pain to his already heavy heart. The final act of his personal drama was about to unfold, and it would be a professional one. In 2004, at the very height of his fame, Pierce Brosnan was unceremoniously dropped as James Bond. It was a shocking and unexpected betrayal. For 2 long years, producers had been secretly auditioning his replacement, all while he believed he was returning for a 5th film. The news was delivered in a cold, impersonal phone call, a brutal end to his decade-long era as 007. You see, for 10 years, he was James Bond. The role had become his identity. To be cast aside so callously left him completely adrift in a professional no-man's land. The things nobody tells you is that this became another secret struggle. He was suddenly too Bond for other roles, a ghost of his own success, fighting a battle for his career and purpose in the shadows. But just as he had faced immense personal tragedy, Brosnan found a way to overcome. He reinvented himself, taking on diverse roles that showcased his true talent. He found his rock in his wife, Keely Shea Smith, and used his painting as a therapeutic outlet. Is it fair that one person should have to endure so much pain? Does it make you rethink the nature of fame and fortune? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories that will make you see the world in a new light.